There is a fifth dimension.
A dimension of sound.
Damn it, Frank! We tell him to be quiet. I spilled my hot cup of Uranus again.
A dimension of sight.
Hey, Arch. I'm gonna sock you in the puss.
A dimension of mind.
Nan Adams, is that you?
Next stop, the Twilight Zone.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Fifth Dimension Twilight Zone podcast. I am your non-waving host, Nick, and we're here to talk another episode of the Twilight Zone, Rod Serling's famous TV series that he created just for our pleasure to rate, subscribe, and complain about and think weird thoughts and all kinds of good stuff. But before we do, we are on audio feeds like Anchor, SoundCloud, iCloud, iTunes, I don't know, whatever planet we live on, all that good stuff. Please rate, subscribe, all that, fun stuff. Gain us an audience. But yeah, we're here. We're to do another episode of the Rod Serling's famous TV series. And I'm, as always, here with my co-hosts, Tripp and Jacob. How you guys doing? How's life? What is it like to watch an episode that may have made you feel a little uncomfortable?
That was fantastical.
Fantastical. It was great.
That's what she said. So yeah, everything good though. Everything great. Everything wonderful. How is life? Does one of you guys have leg braces? Do we need to spin around a little device to make it feel better? Someone
actually
need to
made
turn
it
into
worse.
a fly?
3 eggs, cause fuck you.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for you to say that. So yeah. So we're quite the uppity bunch tonight. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. Yeah.
Very uppity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uppity
We're
as fuck.
very quiet. Yeah.
And not from another planet.
No.
Nope.
So I can't call you Your Highness or your
Uranus.
or your Uranus. Can I give you a cup that says for your anus?
No.
No.
I already have one.
So with that
Wow.
said, guys,
Wow.
you're in episode 90. Wow.
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 Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
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 See, this is one of them episodes when we wait late. We wait till later because of me, I think partly, but we wait till later to record, and it's gonna be a little loopy. Get ready,
It
everybody.
is.
Well, we
Even
couldn't
though,
really
We usually
can't-
talk for like an hour and a half before anyway, but
exactly.
Yeah.
These guys were busy talking video game consoles, and then I said, "Hey, let's get on with the thing." And they're like, "Oh, do we have to?" And I'm like, "Move it, bitch!"
Well, we were waiting
bitch,
for you
get
to
out
turn
the
into
way.
Get out
like
the
some.
way.
We were waiting for you to turn into some kind of weird 50s alien in
Why
a
would I
costume or
turn
something
into
like
a
that.
weird 50s alien?
Hey.
I'm already a flat graphic.
Well, we were talking about video games and stuff. Triv, your claim to fame is you are probably the one out of the three of us, the only one who has played through or at least experienced all the way through Plumbers Don't Wear Ties.
Damn straight you are. Or
Yeah.
damn straight you're right. Anyway, that
Yeah, I
damn
got
straight
you.
I am. Yeah.
I
That's it.
haven't even played through that, so
Well, why not?
because it costs like $500.
Well, that's on you. You could go to the Internet Archive and go.
I know I could. But I have experienced enough of that. And I know that I don't need to.
True. Well, see, there you go. You are secure in your masculinity, and that's all that
I
needs to be said.
absolutely am secure in my video game masculinity.
He's so secure that he's gonna play Custer's Revenge just for us.
I did play that just for you.
Aw.
I know. That was quite the experience. You're like, here, I'll hold you. I jumped into your arms, and you're like, I'll play Custer's Revenge for you. And we turned into looking like each other, and wanted to take us to your leader, and it was good times, wasn't it?
But we've
Was it?
gone off the rails.
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
know.
And you did that all by
No.
yourself. That wasn't anything we did.
Well, I got to make it go off the rails at some point. If
I
you guys
suppose.
aren't gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Damn it.
That's what
No,
she said.
guys, we're on episode 90. How about
That's
that?
crazy.
I
Woot.
know. We've been doing this episode. Woot.
Woot, woot, woot.
Where's the sparklers? Woo. You have the boob tats. You go. Woo.
My boobs don't jiggle. See.
Oh, I didn't say you were gonna do it. I just said
Oh,
yeah,
then
tats.
you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, and I know people want to see that. So
Oh hell yeah! Why
Um,
not?
yeah, definitely.
There you go. Jacob's excited.
All right, right. Okay, so let's talk about this episode. This is you ever watch an episode where you go, yeah, this was the 60s. They're a little more forgiving on what they told the audiences and stuff like that. And I don't think this is an episode that you would get away with today, in what it's trying to do and the feel and how close the old man is to the young girl and all that stuff.
Their relationship was purely platonic.
Yes. It certainly is a vibe.
Though
Yeah, it
I
certainly
guess they
is
ended up getting
not.
married. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Even Rod Serling had to come back into the mix at the end and go, "Yeah, here's a picture of me."
Was that him?
Yes, it
It
was.
looked like
That's
him.
what I
Oh,
thought.
nice.
Like a younger version of him?
He's a good-looking younger guy. Good-looking older guy too.
Tripp wants to marry Rod Serling in the Twilight Zone.
Well, not anymore because he's been dead for quite a few years. But
Not in the
if I
Twilight
had
Zone.
run-
He's still alive.
well, you
Tripp,
know,
you got to
His
think
legacy
fourth
lives on.
dimensionally here.
I can't. I'm only two-dimensional.
Well, we got to correct that.
How?
I don't know, by thinking fourth dimensionally.
That doesn't work.
If Doc Brown can think fourth dimensionally, you can think fourth dimensionally.
He's also three-dimensional.
Yeah, but he's thinking fourth
Three
dimensionally. He
eggs,
traveled through
because
time.
fuck you.
Yeah.
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 So with that said, guys, let's talk about season 3, episode 25, The Fugitive, directed by Richard L. Bear. Once again, after last week's episode, written by Charles Beaumont, production code 4816, air date March 9th, 1962. Stars J. Pat O'Malley, Susan Gordon, Nancy Kulp, Wesley Lau, Paul Tripp, and Russ Bender.
Do you want to know a really weird fact about this one? I watched it on Pluto because I can't find my discs currently. But it came in as number 26, not number 25 in the season. Like it said that Little Girl Lost
Yeah,
was
that's
episode
Hulu for you.
25. No, it was Pluto.
Oh, Pluto. I know Hulu does that where they'll like mix up the episodes.
That's so weird.
Can you imagine like you come on the episode to talk and you're like, we start talking about this episode with this little girl and this old man, and you're like, oh, I thought the little girl disappeared into the wall or some shit. Like what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Spoilers.
Spoilers for Little Girl Lost next week. Yeah, so this is an episode, isn't it? It's definitely a step down from last week's episode. It's
I
an
mean, I
episode
think
that is
most episodes are going to be a step down from last week's episode for a while, probably. Until this one I hear about called Jezebel.
Oh, God.
Great.
I don't know. I
Jacob is
remember
so
Little
excited
Girl
for
Lost
season
being
4.
pretty decent. Yeah.
I mean, we still have some episodes. I think The Body Electric, Cavender is coming with ironically Carol Burnett. With Carol Burnett.
Yeah.
I thought
The
she was in
dummy.
this one.
So
Cut.
we're 25. We're 25. No, I was gonna say we're 25 episodes into this season, and I gotta ask you guys. We're 90 episodes into this podcast. Are you guys starting to feel like the sense that how Rod Serling felt, where you're starting to see like the seams starting to fall when these episodes appear? Like, how do you guys feel at this point? I gotta ask you this question because we've seen so many episodes in this third season, and so many episodes it's just been like it feels like there's like less excitement for the series, I guess, as a whole.
Well, for me, and I know we talked about it a little bit off air, I feel like after season 1, it's still a great show, but there was a magic to season 1 that I don't feel like totally transferred over to the other ones. It's there, but it's kind of like it's not quite as just magical. And the mix also isn't as good. The mix of episodes and like the tones and themes in the episodes. Season 1 was just like pretty damn spot on. It had its bad ones, all do, but it seemed like it had less bad ones, and the bad ones or the less than good ones were still, there was something about them you still kind of like appreciated. And season 3 has been kind of, I don't know, it's been a peaks and valleys, lots of peaks and valleys with season 3.
Oh, yeah.
Not terrible, nothing. Well, I mean, I don't want to say nothing, but not so much terrible episodes. But I feel like just looking back at 3, I mean, we might look at the actual list and I'd be like, oh, I was wrong. But my feeling is when I look at season 3, I think back to season 3 so far, that it's been just a lot of just, that's fine. episodes. You know, middle of the ground or middle of the road episodes. That's just me.
No, I think you say it pretty spot on there. And I think we've said this multiple times. In a lot of these episodes, there's incredibly good ideas, or there was bits that were good, but it either didn't have the time to get developed, or there was always something that didn't quite hit the way it needed to be able to push it from, a good idea to something much bigger.
I feel like this
Yeah.
episode inspired Men in Black in some way.
I could see that.
Like I got Men in Black vibes here or there, like the movies from some of this stuff, like kind of like from the quirky kind of atmosphere and tone to the people with the wah, 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 wah things and just like the aliens hiding in plain sight kind of thing.
Yeah, it's been weird because I now kind of understand that how difficult it is to make a TV show. And we may complain about the episodes, but just think about, most TV shows nowadays, like you'll have like the creators of the show or the showrunner, right? Like the first episode, the last episode may direct the last episode or whatever. And then he has like a cavalcade of writers and stuff like that. If you look at the Twilight Zone, he may have had staff writers, but most of the episodes are written by him for the most part until you get to these later seasons. And you start to realize like how difficult and how stressful it can be as a writer. And it makes me appreciate what he was capable of doing, because you listen to him after the series ended, and like he had so many ideas that he left on the table, and just how creative he was, and like how it just burned him out. And you start to see that. In these episodes. I mean, like this one's written by Charles Beaumont, but like the episodes that he writes, you can tell there's like he's still creative, but you can tell he's starting to burn out a little bit because he writes less and less and less. But it feels like those ideas are being like less and less more interesting. And I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to see this on like a
Critical level.
Critical level. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Compared to like a fandom level, because like this episode, it's not bad if you look at it from a 60s point of view. It's weirder now just because of like the nature of Jenny and old Ben and their relationship. It feels like almost like a grandfather-daughter relationship, but it plays off like more of like a creepier. And I don't know how you guys feel about that. Like are you, when you guys watch this, were you looking at it from a 60s point of view, or are you looking at it from 2023 point of view? I mean, what do you guys think?
I mean, the 2023 view is going to be there regardless, just because, we deal with it on the daily. But I tried to look at it from a 60s perspective, like that kind of sweet, like innocent thing that they would have had more of back then. I mean, they had a character called Beaver, for gosh sakes, back on Leave It to Beaver. I mean, that you have to take, I think you can still judge it with a critical eye, but you do have to take into account this is where they were at that point in time.
I know. And of course, while watching it, we make the jokes about it.
Yeah.
It's old man who likes kids, and he's playing with a bunch of little kids, and they're doing all the weird, But in all honesty, while watching the episode, I never looked at it in any kind of weird way. I just figured it was old man and a girl who were friends. I mean,
it felt kind of like not that it was like Forrest Gump, but I got Forrest Gump vibes, just like the innocence that was going on with it.
Yeah,
It was just what
like
it was.
Anything off with it or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not like it's just a weird. It's just like a weird episode. It's it's a very 60s episode. Like you can watch this Third Man, and yes, there is some 60s vibe to it, but it feels like timeless. This feels like a 60s episode, just in the nature of like how the young kid acts. The kids in the 60s and the way they acted, like in their nature of acting, is very weird, like very kind of strange. And it almost feels like today with like kids, there's like a lot more coaching, a lot more ability for kids to kind of feel more natural sometimes. Back then, like kids, like I don't know if there's like no way of teaching kids back in the 60s like how to act and stuff like that, but it's like a weird cadence that these young kids come off at. You look at like the kids in like It's a Wonderful Life, or the kids on like Leave It to Beaver. There's just like that weird cadence to how kids acted in the 60s compared to like how they act
kids,
now.
I mean, I'm not gonna say they weren't actors. they weren't professionals, if you will. They weren't actors. I mean, you ran across like your Shirley Temples and stuff like that here or there, but even then, the kid actors back then, and even leading up all the way until like the 90s, kid actors, because of their acting ability, usually it was just because they were cute.
Right.
And they weren't afraid to get in front of a camera and be cute. They could play up their cuteness. That's what being a child actor back then was, just being, hey, be really super childish and be cute and learn a line or two here or there. So it wasn't until like that damn Haley Joel Osment, he ruined it for all of them. They were like, oh, kids can act, and then
Holy crap.
they start like getting kids to actually do more acting things.
Hell,
And I think
I'd
the stigma of kids being shit actors, which some of them still are. I mean, there's regular shit actors too, but there's that stigma still, it's still there.
hell, I go back to like Tatum O'Neal when she won the Oscar for, what was it, Paper Moon, and
Oh yeah, Paper Moon.
Yeah.
yeah,
Great
Anna
movie.
Paquin for the piano. Yeah. I do think Jenny as the young girl is very adorable. Like she's like one of those, like, I don't know what kind of character type she is, but she's like that very geez, Uncle Ben or old
Yeah.
Ben, please don't die, don't make me turn into a Spider-Man. I want you
Is
to
she
live.
really acting though? I mean, that's like a lot of those. Look at even back with like the Little Rascals and stuff. Are they acting like, as far as like, what as adults we call acting, or are they just, hey, here's a line, say it in this goofy way? If you notice, whenever they shot kids, especially back then, but like I said, even leading up to more modern-ish times, it was usually like a close-up. They come in close on.
Yeah.
It never lingered on them. You didn't have like a dialogue from these kids as they sat there. It was like a back and forth that you felt like was filmed that way with like a 2-camera setup or anything. No, it was always like, it would just like cut to the kid. They'd say some zany thing, and then it would go away.
Well, the funny part too is the always the young girl or the young lady or whatever would be like very strong-headed and strong-willed, and the young boy would like yell at her and like tell her she's wrong, and that's not how it's supposed to work. I always love that in like kids when they act, because you have like the very sweet-natured young girl or something like that, and then like the young asshole kid, like boy or whatever. I always thought that was funny. Like, no, we're gonna be the captain. She's like, all right, fine, I'll be the captain. I'll be the sweet young princess or whatever. It's always makes me laugh.
And then the Star Trek monster comes from around the.
Oh my god, that was just, oh man.
And the non-noise, non-sounding gun noises, like meow, meow, meow. Just like others say. But right. But I mean, this episode basically, kids are playing in the ballpark. They're playing what they do. They do what, we refuse to do now that we just play video game versions of. They're hitting the ball, hitting the stick and ball, and we have the old man, Uncle Ben, who I'm sure will die, and someone will turn into Spider-Man and avenge his corpse or whatever. And he's like, "Let me play," and then I don't know. It just like it's a very sweet, old man in the park. You figure he just lives in the park and he comes out and plays ball with these kids, and yeah, he plays all the balls with the kids, and the young girl puts her like finger to her nose, and the guy puts his finger to his nose, like kind of a sweet gesture, and he hits the ball in the park. He's like the guy in Clerks. He's like, that was our only fucking ball, it's just like, hits it out of the park and home run, and the kids are like, oh shucks, geez, old Ben, now what are we gonna do? I'm gonna turn into a 60s Star Trek monster.
Yeah.
And he goes behind the bushes. I'm like, at first I'm like, he's going behind the bushes, what is he doing? Like, is he
back there?
Yeah, what are you doing?
That's where the monster was.
Yeah, sure.
He got the.
That's
He
where the
had to
monster
whip
was.
the monster out. No,
but in all honesty, it's a very sweet. This is a very sweet, endearing episode. It feels like it has a sinister motive, like throughout the. I mean, besides the abusive aunt, it feels like it's just a very sweet, grandpa daughter type story, even though they're not related, and it's just. The first scene just shows what it's like, in this day and age, it would be really creepy. You see, a movie like Spotlight or something like that, being made about this.
It depends
this
on how you go
make
into
it
it.
creepy. That's why.
Yeah, therein lies the thing. I mean, you look at you could say the same thing about, I don't know, Marty and Doc Brown. And I know that's more teenager, but it's like, how does this teenager hang out with this old guy. Sometimes that shit just happens, you know. It's like there are
Well,
those.
I know.
those
I'm just
moments.
saying, like
Just-
in this, I'm talking about now, like in this day and age, it would be
No,
a
I
lot
know.
played a lot differently. Like I get it. I just have to look at it from like today's point
Kinda
of view.
sad,
It
though.
just
Oh, I know.
it
Yeah, it
is.
is a little
Yeah, it's
sad.
kind of and like I said, it's a very sweet tale of a young girl just trying to protect someone, and we find out a little bit later why he's doing what he's doing. But I mean, like this opening, before we get to the opening narration, like what do you guys think about this stuff? Like, do you agree with me that it's very sweet natured, and he carries the young girl home, and like on roller skates, and the whole playing with like the alien creature and stuff like that? I mean, what do you guys think?
I think it's a lot of fun. It's it's cute. It's it's kind of, when you think of that time and place, that's kind of the idyllic nature of that time.
I knew from the jump when I started watching this episode, I was like, this is not gonna be a top 10. I could just tell it was one of those episodes, but I didn't think it was gonna be bad. I thought this is gonna be one of those wholesome, more feel good kind of lighter toned episodes, and that's what it
Yeah.
was. And it never drug or anything. I mean, I was in the first little part that we're talking about. I enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, it's just, I'm with you, Nick. I agree, and I think it's kind of sad. I don't think that it would be creepy. I don't think it would have to be creepy if it was made today. But I think if it was made today, whoever made it would make it creepy. If nothing else, even if they retain the whole, this platonic relationship that this man and this girl have, I think that somewhere in there they would insert that to at least make the audience think it was creepy, or maybe somebody in the cast would, or in the cast of characters would come up and somebody would say something about it being creepy, and it couldn't just be, wholesome to human beings that's kind of sad.
Well, look at, like, I just watched Insidious, and they were the one of the songs that, like, they always take like old school songs and they make them creepy, or they'll play them at those times. Like Tiptoe Through the Tulips was one that came up in Insidious.
Yeah.
And it's like played when the evil, exactly. Or what was the one from Jeepers? Well, I guess it was Jeepers
Creepers.
Yeah. Just the way it was played, it gets played for that, because it's like this super kind of wholesome thing, and it gets flipped on its head because edgy or whatever. So no, agreed. I think even if it wasn't like played for creep, as far as like that kind of a relationship in a modern movie, somebody in the audience or someone in the comment section would be like, oh, well, I know what's going on behind the scenes.
Which admittedly
Well, I
did
mean,
too. But
well, we did. You're right. No, we did. And that's part of our culture.
the
That's part
cynicism
of
our
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
to be
Well,
fair,
and we're more informed or not informed, but more, I don't know, open to that kind of stuff. Like, we expect it because it has, in real world, it has happened so many freaking times,
to be fair, Jenny's aunt, which never fully explained why she's living with the aunt. Once again, maybe her parents died like in Amazing Spider-Man 2 or whatever.
You're really
I'm just
caught
gonna
up
say
on
this.
Spider-Man today,
Just
aren't
like-
you?
Well, she doesn't know her parents. Her parents are dead. Maybe they're like, I don't know. A guy's named Old Ben. I mean, maybe she is going
Old
to go
Ben
off to the
Kenobi.
stars.
Her name is Leia.
Yeah, yeah. I
She's
mean,
looking
it's
for
a
her
it's a
brother Luke.
sci-fi premise. So I mean, come on, Tripp. Keep up with the times. Keep up with the
Yeah.
what are those characters? Keep up with the Millers. What is
Joneses?
it?
Keep
Yeah,
up with the
Joneses.
Joneses.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The Jones Jonesish.
Exactly. I do like how one of the kids instead of saying hermetically sealed, he says heretically sealed. That was actually I was laughing when I heard that. I'm like, that's pretty funny actually. Because I'm pretty sure the kid, you know how kids like misunderstand words. So I'm pretty sure the kid didn't do that on purpose. He actually mistook the word. They're like, no, kid, you're supposed to say hermetically. He's like, heretically? Yeah, just go with it. Yeah, Jacob's like, sure, just go with it.
Yarp.
There was a word that was said in here that we could add to the sexicon. I can't
Oh, well,
remember
there's gutter
Oh,
snipe.
gutter snipe.
There's
Yeah, gutter
watch your
snipe.
Gutter
P's and
snipes.
Q's.
You can put heretically sealed. Don't be a dirty guy. Dirty deal. That's cheating. I basically wrote just like lexicon words. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much where it starts. Like I said, they play baseball. They have a little bit of fun with like his ability to change. Like we learned that he has kind of special powers, or at least we think he has special powers because he makes the roller skates disappear. But this is when Rod Serling comes into the mix. He starts talking.
He does, and he says, "It's been said that science fiction and fantasy are two different things. Science fiction, the improbable made possible. Fantasy, the impossible made probable. What would you have if you put these two different things together? Well, you'd have an old man named Ben, who knows a lot of tricks most people don't know, and a little girl named Jenny, who loves him, and a journey into the heart of the Twilight Zone."
Aw, that's cute. One other thing too that's kind of I love with that opening bit with the whole, oh, what are we gonna play now? Oh, we're gonna play Martians, and like when they say for Jenny to be the one that for tag or whatever, she's like, oh, I can't turn into anything like you can, Ben. It's so normal for them to see him turn into stuff, and I like that it's just a part of their play routine that he turns into something.
And they're just like cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how it just kind of goes. There's no introduction. It just kind of goes into they know he's able to do something, able to transform. He's a transformer. He's
more than meets the eye.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a alien in disguise. What do you think his alien name is? You think it's like
Quack clack.
Old Ben Prime?
I think it's just old Ben.
Old Ben
Clack
Prime.
clack. His name's clack clack. Clack clack. Clack clack. We mean you no harm. Clack clack. And then he starts shooting people.
His name is
Maybe he's
Howard
like-
the Duck.
Howard the Duck. But he's not in Cleveland though. How can he be Howard the Duck?
We don't know it's not Cleveland. Didn't say anywhere.
We know.
I mean,
Do we?
Yeah, we
been
know.
to Cleveland. You
Do
know.
we? Do we know?
Tripp, have you been to Cleveland?
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure that I'm not sure
Are you
about
sure
that?
about that?
This is Cleveland in the 60s. It could be different than Cleveland of today.
Good.
I mean, sure. Less crime, I guess.
So
More trusting people.
true, so true.
Except for the ants. So yeah, so most of this episode takes place in the apartment of Jenny and her abusive aunt.
Is she
Don't you
abusive?
wish that? What's that?
Is she abusive? Or is
She
just
seems
like,
abusive.
kind of an ass?
But she's just an ass, I think. She's kind of
I mean, she's
like Mrs. Haversham, not Mrs. Haversham. What's the Carol Burnett role from Annie? Is it Haversham?
Oh,
Whatever the
is it
character is that
Annie?
she plays, like she's kind of the matron for the orphans.
Cameron Diaz?
Yeah, exactly.
Cameron Diaz.
Carol Burnett as Cameron Diaz in Annie.
She played Daddy Warbucks,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Miss Agatha Hannigan.
Oh,
Hannigan.
that's it. Yeah, Hennigan. She's
Yeah.
kind of like her.
She Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
That too. Yes, she played everything. She's a rather talented
mean-
lady.
Right. No, but like, what do you guys think about Ben actually helps her up because of her leg. She has a crutch on her leg or whatever. That she has the thing that Forrest Gump had before he ran and
Yeah, magic legs.
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. Run, Forrest, run. But I mean, he helps her up, and like this woman comes out. This is the woman that plays the secretary in, of course, Beverly Hillbillies. If anybody's curious, but anyways, she comes out and she starts berating not only Jenny but berating the old Ben, for bringing this kid up, and like it almost feels like she is worried that old Ben's taking advantage of her or something like that. I mean, I don't know like what you guys think about this whole situation that's going on, because she tells Jenny to go in a room without food, even though Jenny hasn't done anything, and like I don't know. What do you guys think? Like before they enter, they see the two guys across the street, which you think is probably like the FBI or something like that, or I mean, who knows what's going on? But
I think that she's just a bitch.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. Like she can't.
Is
She's one of those people that like misery loves company. She can't be. She's going to be miserable, and she's going to make everybody else around her miserable.
Just yells a lot.
Yeah.
She's a yeller.
Not in the fun kind either.
No.
but she's probably good in bed, I'm sure.
Really?
Like,
would you want to go to
I don't
bed with
know.
that?
I don't know. I mean, they say like the angrier the woman is, the better they are in bed. I don't know.
Who says that?
I don't know. I'm just making shit up again.
I'm gonna need some documentation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, are you sure
Jacob's
about
like,
that?
I don't know. I'm not the one who has a wife, so I mean, you probably know better than I would. So
Well, I mean, it's not
That one
it's
person.
Probably explicit. Yeah, that was my experiences from before that, but yeah.
I'm just saying in general, I'm pretty sure like you don't want to like try and have sex with a woman who's angry. It doesn't seem like it'd come off very well.
That's what she said.
Probably.
They can come just fine, but just
Yeah.
come off fine. I'm sorry, what?
Anyway, wholesome tales
Mm-hmm.
from the crypt.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mhm.
But no, I mean, like, you know, these two guys who identify themselves as quote unquote the police come up and talk to what's her face, bitchy aunt, and she's like, yeah, I don't know what he's doing. How long has he been here? He's been here a year. You know where he comes from? I have no clue, but I rented a room out for him anyways. And you know, Jenny sneaks out as young kids do to go up there and talk to old Ben, you know, and telling him about what's going on. And you know, old Ben basically breaks down and tells him that he's a fugitive from another planet. And I don't know. I mean, you know, what do you guys think about this relationship between this young girl and this old guy, and you know how they have like a once again a father or a grandfather daughter relationship, and you know before the act break and all that good stuff. I mean, what do you guys think about that kind of stuff?
I mean, it kind of goes the same route as One for the Angels. Obviously, the end result is quite different, but you know, it's kind of that sort of paternal relationship going. Nothing. I think it's sweet. You know, the intention of the episode is to be heartwarming, and kind of, you know, Ben is Jenny's refuge from, like, you know, her leg and the fact that she doesn't have parents and that her aunt is a total bitch.
Though she did when she got sick and she was like out down for the count. She did seem like concerned, actually. I was
Yeah.
happy for that.
True, very true.
She ain't gonna make it. She gonna be okay, ain't she, Doc? Rah!
Yeah, I'm not. You mean I'm not gonna get my child dependent check from the government anymore because
Oh,
she's
they didn't do
dying?
that shit back then.
No, I know. You can imagine that's the only reason. Like the 2023 version would be like, "Oh, she's dying. Oh, she's dying.
When
Oh
I get my
no, I
check."
need my check."
Just
But I
hold
mean,
out until the
half the
15th, okay?
half the audience goes, "What the hell is a check?"
Yeah.
right?
Get my direct deposit. Hold out to the 15th, honey. We get one more payment out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I ask you as always. You're the always one that brings it up. Do you feel that like this first act where you know the two men approach asking about old Ben? She tells they go up to the room right before the act break. And she says, "Oh, you should hide under the bed, you know, or in the closet." You know, this is like how kids think like people are going to be able to be hidden from individuals because you know kids are like, "Oh, if I hide under the bed, nobody can see me." Like, what do you guys think about this first act, like as a kind of storytelling thing, and like you know everything that happens? And do you think it works as a first act, or what do you think?
I think it fly. Oh, good.
No, I was just gonna say I think it was fine. I mean, I didn't think I wasn't like blown away by it, but it was entertaining. It kept me engaged. So it was fine.
It flew. It certainly didn't. I think pacing was pretty decent on it. You know, it told. We're not talking about an epic story like we had last week. This is a very simple, you know, down home tale. Even with the sci-fi elements, it's still like not a real world situation, but a situation people can kind of understand on a personal level, but with the added thing of, you know, an old guy that can change his form. So it's cute.
Yeah.
Awesome, etc.
Yeah, it's interesting how like the second act plays. Yeah, I'm the same way. It's like it is something like it's not bad, it's not great. It just you know it's the first act of a 2-act structure, and it feels like it does what a first act should do, which is all the setup. And then like when you get into the second act, it's like you know we come back from the break. Jenny has her eyes closed, and the old Ben has disappeared. The two men enter the room and they're like, "Have you seen this guy?" And she's like, No, I haven't, blah 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 blah. It turns into basically he's turned into a mouse, and when they leave they go look for him to wait outside again because you know these guys are, you know, instead of waiting in a car, they're just waiting across the street as apparently you do in the 60s. I don't know how you guys feel about that. It's kind of funny. It's like, wait, they don't have a car? I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about these two guys just waiting across the street waiting for something to happen, I guess. I don't know.
it drives the plot. They're obviously there for, we know what they're there for, whatever, whether it's MIB kind of levels of stuff, or the FBI or CIA or the ASAP, it's kind of just one of those things. Not knowing they're 100% intent, but they're playing the, because you have to have some kind of a foil for this kind of a thing, and so.
Yep.
Exactly. There you go.
No, I thought it was fine. I mean, the seeing them across the street and all that did. I mean, that seemed very 60s to me.
Very much.
Like, look out the window. It's like like the hard zoom, and you see like the guys out there looking around for you, the government looking agents. I was cool with that.
They're not very stealthy.
No, they're not.
They're kind of the least stealthy thing ever conceived by anybody.
Right. I think it's funny that Ben turns back into his normal form, or his form as a human being or whatever, and they as we'll learn, not to really give anything away, but he's like lying to her. He's telling her that he's a criminal, that he's a fugitive, that these guys are trying to take him back to wherever he's from. That he kind of reveals that he's an alien. I like how she asked if he's a communist, which I thought was really funny.
So
I'm like, that is
Did you murder
Pierce.
somebody? Did you steal something? Did you rape somebody? Are you a commie?
Which is pure 60s. That if anything you ever learn about the 60s is, if you're a communist or played or somebody that was in the Communist Party, the government didn't like you very much.
No,
at all.
I mean, they had
a lot of people got blacklisted.
Yeah,
they kind of had reason for that, though.
very true.
I go back to once again back to Oppenheimer, the whole communist thing in that arc in that.
The
movie.
McCarthy trials. Yeah, those were pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they took it a little far in sometimes.
Just a little bit.
Red Scare and all.
But
No, absolutely. It's like anything. Look at the response to anything. Any world or national crisis. It's always heaped up to 11, and finally it goes down to about a 5. So.
And then sometimes it goes up to 25,000 and stays there for way too long. And sometimes you have Nazis on our bridge not too far from your place. It's good times. Can you imagine if they were making if the Twilight Zone were being made today with Rod Serling still being alive, in a different form, but he was like his age to now, how different the Twilight Zone would be.
Yeah, his opening narration, he'd be sitting there with a cigarette. No, he'd be sitting there with a vaporizer.
Exactly.
He'd be like, concerning the world today, fuck you, because of 3 eggs, or 3 eggs, fuck you, whatever.
Oh man, that would be that'd be a good open for a new intro.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He'd have to put in some
interesting words too. Soliloquy. 3 eggs. Fuck you.
I would say that make that for our new intro, but I think I get demonetized every week.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's the first 90 seconds you can't drop any swears, which is why I will never get monetized.
Because God forbid the internet isn't wholesome enough as it is,
Oh, but it's a kid's playground,
I mean, God forbid the kids of today are watching a podcast about the greatest 3 people named Tripp, Jacob, and Nick, that curse like sailors.
You got to be good for the advertisers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're all
advertiser friendly.
Yeah, because they all watch the Twilight Zone.
They do.
Like suckers.
Yep.
Let's get them suckers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wondering if those neo-Nazis are flying around in their swastika helicopters. That sounds like something from Iron Sky, that movie where the Nazis are on the moon. They get helicopters and instead the blades are swastikas.
Oh God.
How did they miss that in that movie?
I don't know.
They did have a giant spaceship that was a swastika. The space Nazis.
Space
that's a
balls.
Nazis on the moon. If you want to see an interesting set of movies, watch those. Especially the first one. It's wow.
Yeah, one of them has dinosaurs on the moon.
The second one. That's the second one. The second one is actually more like a real movie. The first one's the most satirical movie you've ever seen. It's got a black guy doing whiteface
oh God.
majority of the movie because the Nazis capture him and indoctrinate him into being a Nazi, on a moon Nazi.
Is it like Dave Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle? It's like that. It's that kind of makeup. He's half the movie he's got white makeup on and everything, and dressed up as a Nazi.
You don't go full whitey.
Having Hitler ride in on a T-Rex and going "Zig Heil, motherfuckers" is it's kind of Robo Hitler.
Nice.
Anyways, I like how she keeps asking, "Can I look at your real form?" He's like, "Oh, it'll be real icky. I want to see your true form. Is it like real icky under there? Like, is it all pus? Is it? Yeah, it's like Beetlejuice. Is it all like worms and pus?"
Woohoo!
But now that these two guys are after him, he's like, "I gotta leave my whole planet like Poochie the dog." He removes her brace and then fixes her leg with I don't know, it must be the contraption from the tittied aliens from was it whatever episode that Bongo was on.
Oh yeah, Dingle is strong.
Lieutenant Dan got magic legs.
But yeah, so he fixes her leg and then he turns into a little fly and shoos away or whatever, and he's like, "Don't leave me, Uncle Ben. Don't leave me, Uncle Ben. I gotta turn into Spider-Fly or Spider-Man and swing around Cleveland." It's just like,
I got this episode subject takes place in Cleveland. Why? Why not?
Because
3
anal.
eggs, because fuck you. And anal.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you didn't see like a duck in the background with Leia Thompson, or you didn't see
They were
I
being
don't
real
know.
subtle.
Duck boobs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I told you, everybody. We record late at night.
Yes.
Weird shit. Nick's gonna have to edit out.
Yeah. It's like the
3/4
worst
of
episode to have weird shit to talk about. But I like how she runs down the stairs and instead of like bringing out the actual what is happening, they just like, "No, we're gonna have her like die," or looks like she's gonna die, like in that one episode with the iron lung or whatever. What was it? The kid that drowned.
Oh, you guys keep
The
bringing
Bill
that
Mummy.
episode up.
The kid that drowned.
The kid that got drowned by the ghost grandmother on the phone
Oh,
in the backyard.
The
Well, we think
phone
that's what
call
happened.
one.
It was edited so terribly you couldn't really tell what happened.
Was it? I don't remember what it's called, but it was like last phone call or whatever.
It was
Bill
creepy old
Muni.
grandma.
Yeah.
The creepy old grandma. No, but it's like, okay, as we learned from the end of this episode, what makes this episode just fall apart is in order to get Uncle Ben to come back, they put her under some kind of like cancer, like she's gonna die. I'm like, I get it at first. Maybe they're like, they are cops. They're trying to bring him back because he says he's a fugitive from another planet. But, they go up to the doctors like, "Oh, her leg's fine, but she's dying."
See,
And
I
I
kind
don't
of
know how
took
to
it
fix
as they
her.
were. I took it as they were trying to like maybe wipe her memory or something, and
No,
something
they was
went
trying
wrong.
to hurt her so he would come back and fix her.
Ah, okay.
That's why when one guy went after her and he was like, "No, don't do it," and he was like, "It's the only way." She's like,
She swooned and fell.
Yeah, apparently they think people are like, they think these kids are like, an infant, so they just said, "Here's a little contraption that'll spin around like little planes or baby Yodas on it."
so she just went to an
Magically.
epileptic seizure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how the lighting just goes like the shadow where it's just like really dark, but there's like one light on her.
Oh, the Morticia lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Morticia lighting.
Can't go wrong with Morticia lighting.
Right.
That's
But she
the
wakes
technical
up. But she
woke
wakes
up
up
dead.
and Uncle.
term. She woke up dead.
Yeah, apparently
Damn it,
she
I hate when
watched
I wake up
the.
dead.
Apparently she's related to Jeff Myrtlebank.
Very much.
Yeah. But she wakes up, the fly comes back. He's like, "I couldn't live without you. I had to come back for you."
Help me.
And then the two coppers or two men in suits are just watching from the corner.
Two cops.
I'm like, what is going
Because fuck you.
Yeah.
right? But I like how they're just watching from the corner. It's like, what is going on here?
Two
What a
grown men
crazy
watching
to-
a little girl in her bed sleep in the corner.
Oof. Oof,
Yeah.
oof, oof.
Not
Yeah.
strange at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
See, there it goes again. That 2023 cynicism.
Yep.
I failed myself.
That's okay.
Shame. I feel shame.
I'm supposed to add. I'm gonna add bells in now as you do that. Shame. Shame. And then like the big reveal happens, which they go Hail Hitler, and we reveal that Hitler is actually old man from Pluto, or old man from Neptune.
I think I watched.
I
a
don't
good
know where
part,
he's from.
Yay!
This is around the part I fell asleep apparently.
Oh yeah, so you don't remember like like this is when like Deadpool comes into the room. He's like, should I kill him? What should I do? He's a baby. Like should I murder him? Like what should I do?
Probably.
But in all honesty, they go, "Hail my king." You're like, what? Hail my what? And they're like, and he's like, "Oh, I haven't been truthful to you, my young soon to
Padawan.
be romantic partner." He says he's a king, and he says he's been around for 1,000 years, and like he has to do this for 4,000. It's like he's like the anti Doctor Who or something like that. It's just
Good to
he's
be
like doesn't want to do this.
Well, neither
Right.
did Doctor Who. He just kind of goes off and does his own thing.
Yeah,
Mhm,
in a phone
mhm.
booth.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't want to be king. I mean, not everybody wants to be king, you know?
Mel Brooks.
Not
Yeah,
everybody is a
true.
lion
It's good to be
dancing
the king.
on
Good
heads
to-
of giraffes
exactly, good to
and
be king.
monkeys. Not everyone has a video game made after them that makes you want to throw your controller through a window.
True.
It's the Jesus game.
Exactly. Jeez. You played the Lion King NES game or whatever it was. Sega. Was it Sega?
Genesis?
Whatever. Yeah,
I have the
Genesis.
Genesis and SNES version.
The game that made you want to throw your controller
Oh,
through
I
the
have the
roof.
Game Gear version too.
Oh
Anyway.
God.
Why does everything keep going back to gaming tonight? Seriously. Holy shit.
Well,
Tripp is probably one of
surrounded
those
by
people who's
all.
like, you young kids with your video games and your hentai porn and
You guys are talking about games that were old when we were kids.
not me. It
What,
came
Lion
out when
King?
I was a kid.
yeah,
Well,
Lion King
Nick's
came out in the
80,
90s.
85. Nick's 85 years old. What can you say?
I mean, I'm the generation that still plays video games when they're in their 40s, so I don't know what you're
Well,
talking about.
good. That's awesome.
Exactly.
More power to you.
So my point of the matter is on this, why I think this ending kind of falls apart is like, so they do this to this poor young girl. They put her under, which he comes back and saves her to get his attention. Like it feels like they're almost like a cultist group that wants their king back, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get him back. And I just feel like that's a little fucked up. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Well, it's not that unusual of a trope, though. I mean, it happens, not necessarily with the way this ends and the fact that, they're trying to pull their king back in. It's not the most, it is what it is, but, it's not like, oh, we'll, quote, hold this person hostage, or we'll do a thing to this person that'll get the person back.
I'm sitting here going, I'm not dead. Yes, you are. I think I'm getting better. No, you're not. Knock you over the head.
I think the ending. I had some questions. First of all, even though her ward, her steward, the aunt, even though she's kind of nutty, she does show at one point that she does care.
Yeah.
And like she's just gonna live the rest of her life with the trauma of this child being, in her mind, kidnapped by Rod Serling as he leaves a picture behind. But I don't know, the ending was like very, I guess they didn't really want you to think about that, because he did even say, he was like, she might be she won't understand because she doesn't have imagination. Okay, well, let's tell the other families of kidnapping victims across the world that you're only upset because you don't have imagination.
I have to do it right. You're upset because imagination.
I mean, if only they had traveled to Epcot and gone on a ride called Journey into Imagination with a little purple dinosaur and heard the song that make you want to blow your brains out. I think she would have learned better.
Yeah,
Possibly.
Imagination.
that part of the ending kind of didn't sit with me right. But then, like, I did like how Rod came on afterwards and was kind of like jovial about the whole thing with the picture of himself and kind of like, ha ha ha, And later on, they're going to get married. Or he never really officially says that, but he does say she's the soon-to-be queen. So one assumes, how do you become queen? You marry the king. He's
Or
the
you kill
king.
off
I
the
mean-
king.
Or yeah. No, I think
I mean,
even
maybe
then, unless it's like a coup.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
she
it's going to
staged
be
like a big coup and took over as queen of the.
this sounds
the
like a perfect 80s movie.
clacks.
Like she is getting upset by the king who's now like a tyrant. So she has to go back to Earth and recruit like a bunch of a guy and like a dog and go back and fight. I don't know the
Yeah.
king.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Is that
Sure.
how is that how Beastmaster and Masters of the Universe and isn't that how they did it? They went
She'll
back
go
and they had
back
to
in
like
time and recruit a Civil War general to come to her planet
They
and
go
fight
to
in arenas.
they go to recruit a team of teenagers with attitude.
Yeah, with Tood. They got so much
Yeah.
Tood that the at is gone. It's just Tood.
Yep.
No, it was the
Right.
90s. I'm sorry. Tood was in the 90s.
No, all they have to do is go to space and find like, I don't know, a bunch of kids who can turn into like who ride around in, like dinosaurs or ride around in was it like lions and stuff like that, turn into giant robots and
Oh,
you know,
Voltron.
it could be like the Power Rangers
I
or
get
something like that.
Voltron. OG
Yeah.
Power Rangers. Or some of those
Or they
kids that are flying around in a trash can they made in the backyard.
Oh God.
they
Come
could be
on with the
puppets.
references.
They could be puppets.
Yep.
They could fly around. They could drive around in vehicles and the vehicles turn into like
There's
flying.
going to be like this whole Ready Player One-esque ending space battle led by her
But-
to gain control over this civilization. We're going to have like the Pee Wee Herman led kid in the spaceship from Flight of the Navigator. We're going to have the explorers trash can spaceship, the cabbage pail or garbage pail kids
Garbage-
trash
yeah.
can, Power Rangers 90s, Voltron.
We got
Voltron,
Munchie in
yeah.
there.
You
Yeah.
could have Mac and Me,
Mac
the
and
young
Me,
kid in the
yeah.
wheelchair.
Oh God.
Before you get shot.
That's the
Before you
weapon.
get shot.
Mac and Me shoots the kid in the wheelchair at them.
Well, there you go.
That's their
Nothing
ballistic.
bad's gonna happen with that.
No, nothing bad
I
at
mean,
all.
you have Alf in the mix too. I mean, it'd
Yeah.
be good times.
You got
Yeah.
7 stomachs. Rah, 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 rah. Eats everything.
He just throws cats at him.
You're a race
Yeah.
of cats. Ah,
Elf shows up.
good shit. Good shit.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the sequel to this episode where this all transpires.
Right. But no, and he decides he just needs a minute because he's like, all right, I'll go back to my ruling of a whatever planet. He's like, can I just have a minute with the young girl? Like, okay,
Sorry.
sure. So I mean, they go into the room. I like how they have the there's just this random guy in there. He's smoking, and she's in there.
Yeah, who was that guy?
They're
I feel like
frozen?
I've seen. Was he in the episode in another part?
No,
He was just there.
not at all. She's probably one of those people that brings guys in to make money.
Wasn't that the doctor?
Yeah,
That
like
was
a-
the doctor.
I was gonna say, yeah, was it the doctor? Because
Oh, maybe it
feel like I
was.
saw that guy.
It was the
before.
doctor.
Okay, because there was a.
I just
I
figured
was
she
gonna
was
say
like
tool bag, but I guess
Rorschach.
it was a doctor bag.
I just figured the young girl was like Rorschach or something like that. Her mother's just like getting making money on the side, bringing the men in,
Hey, you do what you gotta do to support the kids, man.
especially in the '60s. I mean, is that when Watchmen takes place? Like before Watchmen takes place in the '60s.
The end of the '60s, part of it, yeah. During the Vietnamese War.
Yep. Anyway, so when they come back, we now have. Actually, I gotta ask you guys. This is the second episode in a row where they've done that split screen, where not split screen, whatever it is, where they have
Compositing,
the same
or
person.
composite, yeah.
Yeah, which ironically, is composited, but it actually is quite good for the '60s. Like
it
the
looks
last
very
episode
good.
was,
It was
yeah, like like there's no real like it's pretty seamless. But what do you guys think about that? Like now they can't decide who. It's like should we shoot the one person? Maybe it's the girl. I mean,
Shoot
it's a
them
pretty
both.
good.
I feel like this is an advanced alien civilization, advanced enough to go to another planet, change their physical form, and they can travel across the cosmos. They're that advanced, and they don't have some way that they can like figure out which one is which.
Well,
Like a
look at War of the Worlds. I mean, they were killed off by the bacteria in our atmosphere.
Yeah,
Signs
look
they
at
were
the
taken
aliens-
out by water. On
Water,
the planet.
you know,
Yeah.
Not the simple fact that our planet is full of humidity and full of water spores, but yeah, aliens is science
our water's
survive.
like 75 to 80% water.
Exactly.
Yeah,
The aliens that are allergic to water, let's attack that place.
or
But anyway.
the trees attacking us. What? No.
What? No. Anyway,
Yeah.
I feel like they should have some way. Well, I know that's not what the story's about, so I let it slide.
They have that contraption that goes whoa, 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 spins around. I mean, maybe
That's
they
not the
can
machine.
tell.
That's who you put it in. They're going whoa. Sorry, we're
Oh
kind of
my
low
god.
energy tonight, guys.
Well, it sounds like you could use that.
That
You
machine,
need
yeah.
the French tickler version of that.
Sure, I got that around here somewhere.
So, what do you guys think about this ending? Like it's a little weird that they put this girl under like cancer spell or whatever, and then they bring her back, and they're like, "Oh, he's a king," and now she's like double the person.
I mean, in all honesty, it was cute. It was cheeky. There is, I mean, before Rod even brought it up, I did think of the whole thing about how like, what about her mom or aunt or whatever she was? She's gonna walk in there and her kid's gone, and I already mentioned that, but I guess we're not supposed to think of that. It was kind of a cheeky episode with a cheeky ending. Not not top 10 by any means, but it was. I'd say it was. I mean, higher, not high, but higher end of mid. It was enjoyable enough. It caused no offense.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to look at it. They did do that's one nice thing about Twilight Zone episodes, even when they're wholesome, they do still have kind of that cheekiness to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the whole point of like why Rod Serling comes back at the end is to make it play off like, oh, I'm the alien, what about this good looking guy, that type of thing. It's just kind of a weird kind of, we did this to this girl. Now she's wanting to go to our planet. It's all about trying to get away from the aunt who doesn't treat her very well. And I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I guess
mean,
is
and
the best way to put it.
And that's something that seems like it comes up quite a lot with stories like this. Like there's abusive doesn't seem like the right word to describe like people that acted like the aunt does in this one. It seems like it's kind of like that's kind of showing, well, this person deserves to get their comeuppance, and that's kind of where it starts and stops. There's not really thought given to beyond that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this
Like
this
the long-term
evil
trauma.
Yeah, this person was rude or just mean, so they deserve to
Because she wasn't like evil kind of mean, like
no,
abusive. She was just kind of like that stereotypical kind
she
of
was
like
naggy.
yeah. So now she deserves a lifetime of trauma because her essentially her kid disappeared, was kidnapped.
I was surprised, and I know it was probably more in the reader as anything, but like you said, Jake, when they brought in kind of the concern into her voice when Jenny was sick,
They made a
does
point to do that.
Oh, absolutely. And that kind of seems like, okay, so everything's going to be okay. And all of a sudden, oh shit, she's gone,
Yeah, it's
that
got
could
to
have been a
mess you
turning
up.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she don't come back because she becomes queen after that huge space battle with all the other 80s icons.
Exactly.
Right. She goes back and like, the mother's like, or the aunt's like, oh, you're back. It's like, oh, I just came back to get my my device. I'm leaving now. Like, I want to go with you. No.
You made my life a living hell. Screw you.
You screamed
Screw
it.
you. I'm going home to my
Screw you
planet.
guys, I'm
That was
going
not-
home.
I don't know. Like I said, it ends perfectly wholesome. There's no menace. There's menace in the middle, but it corrects itself as the episode ends and she disappears and we see Rod Serling again. And he does this thing. And I mean, overall, like, what do you guys think about the episode?
I don't have any issue. Like, it's like you both have said, there's nothing specifically wrong with it. It's a sweet episode. It's not gonna rock anybody's world, but it's a nice little addition. It's kind of a palate cleanser after To Serve Man, because that is such a epic hardcore episode.
Very much a palate cleanser.
I guess, and I hate, that's probably not the right word though. Like palate cleanser, is it? Because normally,
palate cleanser usually get after something. Well, not necessarily something bad, but I think when we use it in the reference to like entertainment, it is like, oh, I've had something bad. Now this kind of cleanses the palate and prepares me
Right.
for something better.
Yeah,
What
I
are your
mean,
thoughts, Nick?
I don't know. It's just like it's there. It's an episode. It doesn't do anything that hasn't been done before. It doesn't, move the needle. It's not like To Serve Man. or even Little Girl Lost, which we'll talk about next week. It's just, it feels like, you know, Charles Beaumont had a story. It's not his worst that he's done of this series. It's just, you know, it's there. I mean, it's not Dead Man's Shoes. It's not The Jungle. It's, you know, more in that, you know, a nice place to visit, or, you know, I don't know.
Mid-level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. It's not offensive. It may be offensive to some people, but not, you know, it's not going to kill me, I guess is the easiest way to put it. I don't know, but
As Jake would say, it's alright.
exactly. Exactly. Oh, anyways, yeah. I mean, other than that, there's not really much else to talk about on it. That's kind of where it lands. I didn't really feel anything. I didn't really hate it. I just is I. So yeah, that's with that said, let's do the closing narration where Rod Serling comes back into the mix to talk to us about how handsome he was as a young person.
Mrs. Gann will be in for a big surprise when she finds this under Jenny's pillow, because Mrs. Gann has more temper than imagination. She'll never dream that this is a picture of old Ben as he really looks, and will never occur to her that eventually her niece will grow up to be an honest to goodness queen somewhere in the Twilight Zone. This is all
Man.
The queen.
I just had a picture laying here.
Is there anything
so
you
do you
don't
think-
keep below the frame?
There's a lot of shit here. There's a lot of shit on my desk. I periodically clean it off, but there's just random shit all over. Yeah.
You think when she becomes a queen, she'll marry a guy named Lone Star and his
I hope
companion
so.
Barf?
Lone Star.
Lone Star.
There's something coming out of the nose.
Mhm.
Yeah. Good times. Have I none? So yeah,
That's not that bad. I mean, but I get it.
have by none, Triv. Have by none. Anyways, so that's season 3, episode 25, The Fugitive. You know, directed by Andrew Davies, starring, of course, Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones, and Julianne Moore, as well as Joe Pantoliano and
the one-armed man.
woman from Glee. What's that?
It's the one-armed man.
Yeah, in the one-armed man. Richard Kimball, you are not the grandfather.
Mhm.
Anyways, okay. Let's do it. Let's get out of this episode. We're gonna go into the rankings list, Twilight Zone ranking list, the greatest ranking list, because Tripp makes us do this every week for our pleasure.
Okay.
It's all Triv's fault. I
Yep,
blame Tripp for
definitely.
everything.
Pleasure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ew.
Housekeeping.
Me fluff your pillow, me sit on your face.
Would you take me jerk you off?
See?
All
Where the hell are we
we're-
starting?
I
don't
don't
know.
even know. 20
Elegy.
29.
28.
29.
30.
Is that your 27?
Number 3.
28.
Number 22. I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing. So
The hell?
Kick the Can. Okay, Kick the Can is kind of a similar style tale. I
I
don't
was
think
way
it's
better Kick the Can.
No. You think?
Yes, I don't like Kick the Can
That is true.
from a critical and metaphysical level.
I enjoyed this one more than Kick the Can.
But do you want to put it that high? Like in the 30s?
Well, I mean, that's where you say Kick the Can, not me.
Well, no, I just said just bringing it up as a point of to just say, hey, these episodes kind of talk about the similar things.
Which one was The Hunt?
The Hunt was the guy that
With
goes to
dog.
heaven with the dog.
Oh, yeah.
His dog's name is R.I.P.
Yeah.
or Rip.
I mean, I would put this like below Hitchhiker, above Penny for Your Thoughts.
Do we want it to go that high though to start with? I just brought it up because it was a similar one. I mean, you could do, other comparisons too. Like
We're
you
gonna put this
mentioned,
above-
Allergy. Is that a better starting place for this?
I don't know. I just picked Elegy. I don't know.
The Trouble.
I don't
with
even know. What was
Something-
Elegy? Oh yeah, that's the one
Exactly.
I like. That's one we had Alex on. Never mind.
Yep.
The guys on the asteroid who die
Love you,
because the guy
Alex.
gets them
Mannequins.
poisoned. Yeah, mannequins.
A piano in the house?
Exactly.
I'm just picking episodes that had memorable names to me.
Yeah.
Is this better than Odyssey of Flight 33?
Which one was that? Was that the one with the dinosaur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one more than this one.
Is this better than Back There with Abraham Lincoln and Guy goes back there. Back there. There's so
Oh
much room.
man,
Where
yeah,
Abraham
it's better
Lincoln
than that
got his
one.
brains blown out.
That one had a better story, I thought. More interesting, but man, it was just really that one's execution was really weird at times.
What about the Prime Mover?
I don't think it's better than that.
You don't think it's better than the Prime Mover with
Mm.
random footage of car blowing into?
Hey,
Good
I'm all
footage,
for
though.
explosions.
It was good footage.
You know?
I think it's right around in that they're similar in they're not similar in tone or story, but they're similar in quality, I think.
So you would put that between Prime Mover and back there. So number 46.
I think that works.
He's like, sure.
You know what it
whatever.
is? You know what's weird? It is literally middle of the pack.
It is just is middle of the road.
Yeah.
I mean, technically now it would be. It'd be like one
Exactly.
below the halfway point. God, we're so smart. Why did we become so smart? I don't know.
Well, we're good.
Right? I don't know why my list is all funky. Funky.
Butt
Turn
loving.
it up. Funky butt loving.
Exactly.
Did you just say funky butt loving?
I did say funky butt loving. What are you gonna do
What?
about it?
Good,
Somebody said Bud
good
Love.
old,
I'm back.
good old rookie of the year. Did you say funky butt loving?
Yes.
I love that movie.
When I play trivia every week, and there's a team there called Funky Butt Lovin'.
Nice. They must love the rookie of the year.
I think so, yeah. They're about that age.
About my age. Grew up on that movie.
Yarp.
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 All right. Any more decision making on this episode before we clear it for 46? Any other places you might want to put it?
Yet.
No, we're not putting it there. We're not putting it there, Jacob. Sorry.
You're a gutter snipe.
I'm a gutter snake.
Gutter snipe.
Gutter
You're
snake.
such.
Gutter snake.
He's an asshole. He's
gutter
an
snakes.
asshole.
Yep. Before we drift
Gutter
off
snakes.
into even more
Two
tangenty land.
Well, we did that already.
True.
Okay. So yeah. If we're good on that, we'll do it. Yeah. So with that said, new number 46 is The Fugitive. Number 1, still Eye of the Beholder. Number 90 episodes, people. The Trouble with Templeton.
And number 73.
That's
a
number
piano
74.
in the house.
I like how Jacob's falling asleep. He's like, I'm in the house. Oh man. So anyways, with that said, the next episode, you may actually know if you've ever seen what was that movie? Poltergeist. Yeah, Poltergeist. Or the famous episode of the Simpsons where Homer goes into the third dimension. Of course, that episode is season 3, episode 26, Little Girl Lost, directed by Paul Stewart, written by a story by Richard Matheson. Stars Sarah Marshall, Robert Sampson, and of course Charles Aidman. So anyways, we'll look forward to that episode next week. With that said, we're gonna head out because we're all tired. We want to go to bed. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a drink about an hour ago and it went straight to my head. Boom, boom, boom. Anyways, so Triv, you've actually put a couple videos out recently, which is
yes, I know, outside the box.
Yeah, outside the box, but no, it's awesome. You apparently are very interested in blood.
Yes.
I don't know why. The one episode that has Vincent Price, I will have to watch because that movie looks awesome. Because I've never
it's
seen
fantastic.
it. Yeah, it definitely.
Actually,
looks like
I
a
would
good
say
time.
watch the movie before you watch my review.
A little late on that one, so
Shit.
but, it's all right. It's all right. I'll
right.
live. But
It's all right.
anyways,
it's okay. It's all right.
This content that you have, where is it located?
It's
Air Triv.
well, you can find it here on YouTube, Trivial Theater. Past couple of episodes have been Blood Theater and Theater of Blood. The one Nick referenced is Theater of Blood. Fantastic movie. And hopefully a review that did it justice. Definitely check out both. And hopefully more content coming soon. Up next is a radical movie. You might say Cowabunga too.
Gleaming the Cube.
No.
The porn?
Got
You're doing a porn?
Cowabunga.
Solar
I'm doing
Babies?
Are you doing Pirates, Serengati's Revenge?
Yes, I am. All of
Yeah?
the above.
Ooh.
And Hellraiser. Yeah, I'm doing Hellraiser Bloodlines because, why not?
Exactly.
Is that the one in
Jacob.
space?
Yes. It's like Jason X, only not. It's more like Jason Takes Manhattan for the amount of time that they spend in
Jason
space.
takes a shit on his franchise.
Now we need Freddy and Michael Myers to go to space, and we'll have our own cinematic universe. It's the
Michael Myers
space
already
horror
took a
franchise.
shit on his franchise
Yes, that's for sure.
more than once.
Jacob,
Yes,
you have a channel
I do.
on the YouTubes.
I have a channel.
How can
on
they get to
YouTube.
ask the
Find
YouTubes?
me- Get your ass to Retro JXY. Put it in your mouth. Swirl it around. Tastes good. Don't spit.
Jesus.
They swallow.
Take it all in. Feel it go down the trachea. It's like good probiotics. Just saying words now. Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Retro JXY. I do retro video game documentary thingies. I have another one coming soon. Haven't announced what that is as of yet, but working on it. Hope to get this one done quicker than the last one or two or all of them. So yeah, that's coming soon. But check out my most recent videos on the Nintendo 64 and its history and all that jazz. And then I have one on the Dreamcast as well. And I'm thinking about working on some smaller bite-sized content that comes in between those bigger videos here or there. Working on that. I don't know if it'll be between these two big videos, but I do have some ideas of some stuff, so it doesn't have to go such a long time between videos. But yeah, check out the channel. Oh, and I'm on Twitter. X. Go and bring it to you. Whatever they call it. I don't know. Yeah, you all know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Oh, X gonna give it to you. Give it to you, huh? Yeah. So, anyways. Yeah. So I'm at Movie Emporium. That's where all my content is held. I've been a little light on content because either I've been sick or I'm dealing with some issues with my medicine that kind of messed me up a little bit. So I apologize. I haven't had a lot of stuff recently, but just know that I'm still there. I recently did After Party Season 2. So all those episodes are up.
Fantastic set of reviews.
Fantastical episodes.
Yep, fantastical.
Exactly. But with that said, audio feeds, Anchor, SoundCloud, YouTube's, all that good stuff. So definitely check us out, subscribe, rate. I appreciate everybody that watches. But until next week, we'll see. We're going to head out to the Twilight Zone. I think that's how it ends. But for myself, Jacob, and Tripp, we'll see you guys next time in the Twilight Zone. Peace out, motherfucker. Ready?
Do it.
Ready?
All right.
Do it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, she's
Someone's
not ready.
camera just went out.
Oh, shit. How the fuck did I do that?
See what happens when she like tells us to get going?
Fuck
Right?
a duck. What the hell?
Rushing me along.
I
Not
do
fucking
that?
8 ducks.
Oh, piss off. There we go.
All right, you good?
Yep.
Everything good?
Yep.
All right.
For real this time.
For realsies. Is my lucky day for love.